Hello, everybody, and welcome to a CLNS Patriots Roundtable. My name is Alex Barth. I am joined today by Mike Petralia and Mike Alonji. First time we've talked since really the days following the Super Bowl. Mike, Alonji, I don't think we've talked since before. You guys starting to feel a little better, recover a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we're just about a month away. We're just about a month out from it now. Yeah, I mean, it's that time where you got to start looking forward to the off season and how these Patriots team is going to continue to be as good as they've been these past few years.
It's an ongoing machine, guys. I mean, and certainly a lot of coaches at the NFL Combine have been talking about John Gruden, for one, how it's just so much fun to watch how the Patriots regroup and get ready for different challenges every single offseason. When somebody like John Gruden is saying that it's fun to watch the Patriots in the offseason, how can we not appreciate it?
John Gruden had the line of the week saying he's throwing out all the sabermetrics. He wants to bring the game back to 1998, and I've never been happier to hear a coach say anything. But at the Combine, it is often about the metrics, the measurables. It's all it's about,
Sure.
frankly. And teams are going through that right now, the Patriots included. The draft is going to be a big part of that coming back together, Trags, like you mentioned. And the names are starting to fly around, especially at the quarterback position for the Patriots. We've heard from Mason Rudolph to Baker Mayfield to Kyle Lauletta, Mike Wright, trading up to possibly get a guy like Josh Rosen. I don't know how realistic that is, if at all. But within the realm of reality, right, we'd all like to have the consensus top pick. But within the realm of reality, do any of these names, any of these guys, any of the tapes really stand out to you as the next Patriots quarterback?
Well, I'm going to go with a player. It's not necessarily whether or not their measurables stick out always, but how comfortable the Patriots and Bill Belichick are with a particular player. You have to start with Kyle Lauletta. His dad played football for Belichick's father at the Naval Academy. He also played some, Kyle Lauletta also played some lacrosse at Richmond. And when you take a look at his numbers at Richmond, they're very, very impressive. He is somebody, this past year, 281 completions, 433 attempts, almost 3,800 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, little high on the interception rate. There is somebody with a lot of size. He's, 6'3", 215 pounds, mobile enough. Played at the University of Richmond. He's the kind of guy that I could see the Patriots certainly targeting. Other names like a big-armed, big guy like Mike White out of Western Kentucky is somebody. Logan Woodside is generating some interest. But it would be fascinating to me, guys, if you really want to go down an intriguing path, what about Lamar Jackson with the New England Patriots? Can Lamar Jackson be Deshaun Watson for the Patriots in waiting? That's what I'm very, very curious to see, whether or not, maybe not at 31, but if Lamar Jackson were to fall further, would they take a wing and a prayer on a guy like Lamar Jackson if he even makes it out of the first round?
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson's very intriguing. All scouts say he's got to work on his accuracy and things like that, but the guy is a freak athlete. There's no doubt about that.
Michael Vick.
Yeah, exactly. And that has been shown that if you're that good of an athlete, if you're that good of a running quarterback, you can make it work in the NFL, despite what everyone wants to say. But another guy that kind of triggers me is Mason Rudolph. I think the size, 6'5", he plays in that air raid style offense at Oklahoma State. I think that would be something that he could probably translate to a little easier. It's going to be tough for him. He's going to have to learn how to take snaps under center and all that stuff, just like all those other spread quarterbacks that come out of college. But I think Mason Rudolph is a guy that, if you were to say what college quarterback right now, slings the ball around kind of like Tom Brady with the amount of throws and the different kinds of throws and the quick slants and all the different things, I think Mason Rudolph is a guy that you can look at as well, that if he could find a way to, if they could get him at the maybe end of the second round or something like that, if he were to fall that far, I think that would be an intriguing prospect to go after as well.
So, yeah, Rudolph to me is the guy. Lauletta, I question his arm strength, just making some of those throws to the outside. Most of his throws went up the middle, which those quarterbacks to me tend to have some trouble because they lead their receivers into defenders, get their receivers banged up, and then they're playing with second strings. Obviously, there's exceptions, but I wonder if he can make those throws to the outside that are so important in the Patriots offense. Lamar Jackson is just accuracy overall. You look at when he plays the top teams and when he gets down into the red zone, if his first read's taken away, he doesn't trust himself to fit the ball, and he doesn't trust himself to look to a second option. He'll just take off, and that will not work with the New England Patriots. Obviously something that's fixable, obviously something they can work on, but that to me is going to be a major red flag for Belichick. Mike, I think you're spot on when it comes to Mason Rudolph. I love what this kid has. It's a big body, great pocket awareness. He actually does have some experience taking snaps under center for an air raid for an air raid quarterback. He's worked at the line of scrimmage pre-snap. He has some ability to diagnose defenses. I love everything from Rudolph. I think he falls to them. I think if he's there at 31, they pull the trigger. The one other guy, and I love watching him on tape. I really do. Both during the play and in between plays, the passion he brings, the intelligence he brings, the level of intensity he brings. It's Baker Mayfield to me. I think if he's there at 31, which unlike 50-50 if he will be or not, the Patriots have to pull the trigger. It goes back to me, if Josh McDaniels is going to be the next guy, which I think we all assume he is. You remember Josh McDaniels took Tim Tebow in the first round a couple years ago. Baker Mayfield is Tim Tebow, but he can actually throw the ball, which Tim Tebow could not do. He has the same ability to move around, the same ability to frustrate defenses with his legs, the same leadership ability, same passion for the game, but he can throw the ball. So if you put Baker Mayfield in that offense Josh McDaniels wanted to run in Denver but couldn't when Brady's gone and when Belichick are gone, I think he could succeed. I don't think Baker Mayfield will succeed everywhere he goes. I think the Patriots with Josh McDaniels are one of the places he could. I don't know if he gets there, but outside of Rosen and Darnold, if I could have any quarterback in this draft class on the New England Patriots, it's Baker.
There might actually be a decent chance that he falls. I saw yesterday he measured under 6'1" at the combine. So I mean, while it is taller than he was at the Senior Bowl, it's not exactly as tall as most NFL scouts would like him to be. So 31, I guess, is not a far cry. I think it's a decent possibility that he drops that far.
And look, I'm the first guy to say I want a tall quarterback. I even criticized Jimmy Garoppolo for his height. I'm going to make an exception for this kid. Just the way he plays. You go back, you watch the Rose Bowl, even though they ended up losing that game. He was amazing in that game. That was the biggest stage he'd ever played on. And if you come to New England, you're going to play in big stages right away. You need somebody with that experience.
Well, I mean, guys, the thing we have to, first of all, remember is I don't think the Patriots take a quarterback in the first round, even at 31. I think they are looking for better value with that pick. And when you're talking about a backup quarterback to Tom Brady, first of all, you're assuming that Josh McDaniels is making the pick or going to have a huge amount of input in making the pick at quarterback. Because if it is true that Tom Brady plays for the next 2 to 3 to maybe even 4 years, you're talking probably Bill Belichick isn't going to be around, and it's going to be somebody like Josh McDaniels taking over this team. Who is he going to want at quarterback? And I got to think that if Belichick isn't going to pull the trigger at 31 on a quarterback, which I don't think the odds are in the favor of that happening, you got to look at somebody that they're willing to develop. That's why I think somebody like a Mason Rudolph is a good possibility. Somebody who has a winning tradition. I like JT Barrett a lot, but I mean, he's going to be a later round type of quarterback. The reason I like JT Barrett so much is he's from a winning program. He is a pressure type quality quarterback. And I think he is the kind of guy that can come to the NFL, play as a backup, and develop his skills, at the NFL level. Certainly he doesn't have the measurables and the skill sets of all of these other quarterbacks we're talking about, but he is a winner. And that means a lot to, people like McDaniels and Belichick.
He's the late round alternative to Mayfield, kind of the way you described that.
Right. Yes, I would agree with that.
And again, like what I'm saying, pull the trigger at 31, kind of how I'd like to see it go. Obviously, the guys down there getting paid millions of dollars to do it. I'm here sitting talking to you guys on a webcam. Like they know better than me. I honestly think it will be Lauletta. If I had to predict, if I had money on it, but I'd like to see them invest a little more. It's quarterback after all.
Right. Well, I just think that, the other thing you have to understand here is it's got to be the fine line between a developmental guy that they can get for the value of the pick, assuming that they're not taking a quarterback I'm assuming they're not taking a quarterback at 31. If we assume that, it has to be the fine line between a developmental guy and somebody they feel in a couple of months of training camp can be ready to step in and fill the shoes for Tom Brady. Now, maybe they feel like they're going to keep Brian Hoyer on the roster and fill that role, that if in this next quarterback's rookie year coming up this season, they're not going to throw him to the wolves right away should Brady go down. Maybe they do keep Brian Hoyer on the roster just as a bridge type of quarterback. But I'm sure they want to see this next quarterback capable of stepping in to the fold pretty quickly. And if it's an athlete like a Lamar Jackson out of Louisville, and they feel like, well, if we have to change some things when he comes into the game, that's fine, because he's a freakish type of athlete and we can do different things with him. And if Josh McDaniels has Bill Belichick's ear enough to do that, maybe he's the kind of guy they take in the second round if he's there.
All right, Michael Angie, real quick final thoughts.
Yeah, I think that, Lauletta would be an intriguing prospect. I agree with Trags that he's a guy that the Patriots would certainly be familiar with and certainly be comfortable drafting, considering his family ties and all that stuff. But I'm still on Mason Rudolph. I think that that's a guy that they can really go after, and they can really, if they want to, maybe end up, who knows, trading up if they have to and going to get him. I think that that's a guy 6'5", can throw the ball all over the field, has experience in an offense where he's got to throw the ball 40 to 50 times in a game. I think that, like you said before, a guy who can, make the calls to the line of scrimmage and things like that. I think that's a guy that the Patriots should seriously consider drafting.
I'm right there with you, Mike. I watched Mason Rudolph for 3 years, just about every game. I love what that kid brings to the field. This roundtable is brought to you by DraftKings. Use the promo code CLNS at DraftKings.com for a discount on your first time playing. It's also brought to you by RX Bar, the whole grain protein bar. Use the promo code CLNS at RXBar.com for a discount off of your order.